I'm about to rewire your entire brain chemistry when it comes to sales. You are going to sell like freaking crazy. By the way, this is Popcorn. Popcorn, are you gonna get involved? He's so chill. Okay, let's put him down. It is time for you to sell like never before. We're gonna get to the very root of what is stopping you from selling to your true potential. This is not about sales techniques, because normally when we think of sales, we think of, oh, I need some sales techniques, or I need a sales funnel, or I need to improve my marketing or my positioning. This is so much deeper than all of that. It's fundamentally your operating system, who you are on the deepest level. Because if you've worked with me, you would have heard me say you can only sell from who you are on the deepest level. When you deviate from this, this is why you get pain. This is what's going to stop you from selling. If you've been struggling to sell, if you feel like you know you've got an amazing product, you can change people's lives, this is the training for you. Pop a comment below, let me know how you get on, because we're going to get into it right now. When we think of sales, we think over on this side, which we're going to put like sales funnels, techniques, your tone of voice, the questions that you ask. All of this is on the right side. We're going to put that there in just a moment. For now though, we're going to keep this very simple. This training is going to be so straightforward, and you're going to break through with it. And it's also something that changed my life, so I'm excited to change your life with it today as well. You have who you are on the deepest level, which is, find the right pen, your deep inner state. So if you think about your MacBook or your laptop, you've got all your apps, you've got everything that runs on your laptop. You've got email, you've got Google Chrome, you've got all your software, and you can chop and change all of that software around. And none of it really matters. But the operating system underneath all of it, if that gets a virus or it isn't working properly or the memory gets full, everything that you try and build on top, every app that you add, it's not going to work properly. It's the same when building a house. If you want to build a mansion, doesn't matter if you want a helicopter pad, it doesn't matter if you want a basketball court, a swimming pool, if you're building that house on a foundation of sand. And most people's sales results are only a result of the fact that they're building their entire sales process and their sales strategy on quicksand. This is why it's going to make sense. Who you are on the deepest level, your deep inner state. Now for me, and this is why it changed my life entirely, I only got to this deeper truth through Sales Energetics. By the way, if you've not read my book, Sales Energetics, definitely check it out. Because I realized that no matter what I built in my life, with sales and with business, I was building on a weak foundation. And that foundation was a core belief that I am a failure. Not I feel like a failure. That's avoiding the truth. When you say I feel like something, you're not actually saying that you're that thing. I identified with it. When you say I am, and I am a failure, then everything you build is from that. So every decision I was making in terms of my business, whatever I did, it was from a place of insecurity. Now I built my business to $1 million in 1 year. So you can say, well, Pete, you broke through. Surely you built your business to $1 million in sales in 1 year. Amazing, right? And I was doing hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year. Before and after that, I was being asked to consult for the biggest brands in the world, being flown all around the world. That's amazing. But I had a deep inner state that I'm a failure. And without going into the work that I've done over the last few years to unfuck myself, because that's literally what I've had to do, and unbecome all of this, staying with this right now, I am a failure. If you built a business to $1 million, but your core belief is I'm a failure, how are you going to feel? Well, you're going to feel constant stress, you're going to feel overwhelmed, you're going to be pushing, you're going to be forcing, and everybody around you might be saying, hey, you know what? You're stressed out, like, why are you doing this? And I knew it. I knew that no matter how much money we had in the account, and my accountant called me and he said, hey Pete, listen, I've taken a look at your accounts and where you're at after tax, you're going to have at the end of the year £1 million in your bank account, in the business account, after all taxes paid. You will be a cash millionaire in terms of the business. About 8 or 9 months later, I was sat in my office by myself. My team had all, like 8 or 9 team members had all left, or I got rid of the team, and I had like £2,000 left in the account. So how do I go from I'm gonna have £1 million in the account by the end of the year to I've got £2,000? It was because everything I built was only temporary, because it wasn't truly who I was. Because from your deep inner state, this creates your identity. And if your identity is I am a failure, this all creates leakage. This leakage goes into every decision that you make. I have something that I call the 5 layers of sales. Nobody talks about this stuff. The 5 layers of sales, the base level, the foundation is your deep inner state, who you are, your identity, and how you feel about yourself. And this goes very, very deep. And this is the stuff that I work on with my clients in my peaceful sales community. So my clients are all a part of that, and we do a lot of work on this. Your inner state then creates the next layer, which is your intention. If you have a limiting belief, and this is so much deeper than limiting belief, so I'm saying that carefully. So if you say, well, I'm a failure, well then your intention unintentionally becomes a selfish one. Now, when you try and sell your product or service, you're selling it from any insecurity that you put into your intention, because as leakage goes in here, you don't have a pure intention anymore. You're thinking, I'm a failure, so I need to make money. So that becomes selfish. So now everything you do feels like it's about you. Even though you truly care about helping people, you're contradicting yourself. And you can see unconsciously or even consciously, you can see your contradictions. For me, no matter the fact that I built this $1 million per year business, my intention was that I was a failure, so that leaked into my intention, and my intention was that I'm stressed, we need to hit revenues, we need to hit sales targets, and even though I did genuinely care about people, there was too much leakage into my energy, because your intention then creates your energy. So we say sales is about energy. I literally wrote a book on sales energetics, but we've got to go deeper than energy. Well, what creates your energy? And for me, it was I'm a failure, I get leakage. Most people, the reason why I say this, most people feel that they can't sell. I can't sell, I hate selling, because on a deep level, they feel they're not good enough. And most clients, I've worked with thousands of people around the world, I've had hundreds of clients. I see again and again successful business owners that don't feel successful inside. It's like they've won the outer game of life, they've got this business, but they're not winning, because the inner game, who they are, their deep inner state, their identity, they feel like a failure. And that's why they're having to sustain this, because you can only sustain who you are. If you feel that you're not confident, I'm really insecure, I'm not confident, you can go and pretend to be confident, but it's outside of you. So eventually your mind, you're always going to return to, a man or woman will always return to who they truly are. And that was my biggest fear when we made a lot of money, and we're doing 100K months, 70 to 100,000 pounds a month. But my biggest fear was that I'm a failure, so it's all going to crumble. And it did. Because as human beings, we only want to prove ourselves right, even if proving ourselves right means self-sabotage, means destruction. Not that there's any such thing as self-sabotage. There's only your mind returning you to who you truly are. Damn, this goes deep. I love it. So deep inner state, that becomes your intention. If you've got leakage from your deep inner state, that then becomes your energy, and then your energy feels icky. So if you've ever been around a salesperson, you're like, I don't know, I just don't feel good about them. Well, this is in general, and it comes across in video. I look back at my videos from years ago when I was in this place of I'm a failure, and my mum called me out on this. She said, son, I've been looking at your videos. Are you angry? I'm like, what do you mean, am I angry? She says, yeah, I'm watching your videos and it seems like you're angry. And I watch my videos back now, and I didn't see it at the time. This is the crazy thing. I didn't see it. I just thought I was being passionate, but I was literally shouting at the screen. I was shouting, and I used to get a lot of problems with my throat because, I mean, if you're into this like woo-woo stuff, then my throat chakra was closing up, but also just the fact that I was shouting all the time, and I would lose my voice doing videos. Every time I tried to speak my truth, my throat closed up. And now I do videos because I no longer, I've worked on this, we're gonna talk about this in a moment, because how do you change this? This is the big question. And now all the videos that I film, and I mean this sincerely, I do first take. I'm not gonna have much editing. I barely make any mistakes. I don't worry about the mistakes now, where before everything was, I'm a failure, so every little mistake got amplified. So remember this, deep inner state creates your intention. If you've got leakage here from a deep inner state that isn't serving you, and there's loads of ways that we can figure out what our deep inner state is, because we're like, how do I know what my deep inner state is? Again, this is the work that I do with my clients. That becomes your intention. When we've got leakage there, that becomes your energy, and your energy then we go to the tip of the iceberg. So all of this is under the surface with the iceberg. What you see is tone of voice, body language, and then the final level is like what you say, the words you say, the questions you ask. And most sales training, the reason why it fails is because the majority of sales training is still essential, because I teach all this as well, but most sales training only focuses on the tip of the iceberg. With all kindness, there's mindset coaches, there's spiritual experts, people that get all this quantum physics as we go deep into this. But the problem is they also don't understand the nuances of how it all connects with sales, where I've done the work in both areas, and that's the uniqueness of sales energetics. All of this gets affected by this, and you can fake this for a while, but it's going to feel, if it's out of congruency, and I was very good at faking it, that's why I built the business to $1 million, and I didn't realize I was faking it. Your business and your sales results are always talking to you, and my business was talking to me through stress, frustration, anxiety. And I say that sales is a transfer of energy. But the problem is that you're stressed, anxious, overwhelmed. You're quite literally, you're selling stress, anxiety, and overwhelm. And I don't know anybody that wants to buy those things. We want to buy calm, we want to buy safety, we want to buy inspiration, we want to buy feeling good. You have to genuinely feel good. So the question is, what do we do? Well, what I was able to do is do a lot of work on myself over the last 3 years specifically. I didn't worry about what's happening up here. And in fact, as a result of that, I scaled back my business entirely, and I turned down a lot of revenues. I've moved 7,000 miles. I live in Thailand the last few years now, but I've been able to do this work and truly go deep on it. And I can't give the respect even close the respect of what it deserves right now. But I will say this, I shifted from this deep inner state, I am a failure, because that wasn't working for me. I literally was able to unplug that deep embedded programming, which can be hardwired, by the way, so it can be very difficult to change unless you're doing this deep work, to I'm a success. I know already, I don't worry about it anymore. It's funny because I teach this to my clients in sales. Where's the right pen? I'm already a success. And at first that might be difficult to understand because you've probably put labels on your success and conditions, and those conditions are, yeah, but in order to be successful, I need to be hitting a certain number every year. In order to feel successful, then I need to make sure that you fill in the blank with whatever bullshit you've made up for yourself. So I was able to change it to I'm already a success, and my days now are much better because I wake up every morning and I know I'm a success. And that isn't determined by what's in my bank account or not in my bank account, isn't determined by the amount of clients I've got right now. It's not determined by you fill in the blank with whatever was limiting you before and whatever was limiting me before. The funny thing is, I feel far more successful in the last 3 years, even though I've gone through a lot of dark nights of the soul and wild anxiety symptoms, and I've had to get to the root of all these things. But I feel more successful now than I did when the business was doing a million, like 100K a month, $1 million a year, because of who I am. Because it's not about what you achieve, it's about who you become in the process, right? And that is fundamentally what I want to talk to you about today, that I guarantee if you're not selling, if you're not getting the leads that you want, it's not a lead generation problem. If you're not converting clients, if you're not selling for thousands per client effortlessly and having fun in the process, it's not even a sales problem, right? That is a deep energetic issue, and you'll have leakage that's affecting your sales. And only when we can look at all of this, and by the way, the work that we do up here, so I have a whole consultation method, I have a whole sales process I help my clients to install. You might say, well, I don't need to do any of that. Well, you do, because that also impacts what happens down here. So for example, my clients, we have a community where they all practice the consultation that they have with their clients 2-3 times a week, because practice makes permanent. And the reason why that affects and impacts how you feel down, like literally in your deep inner state, is because imagine you believe that you're the best tennis, you get in a state where you believe you're the best tennis player in the world, but you've never picked up a racket, you've never gone out and actually practiced your serve, you've never gone out and hit 100,000 forehands, backhands. You are literally going to contradict that beingness, because it's a being universe, okay? So down here, who you are, and it's a doing. We're in a being and a doing universe. And this is where the spiritual gurus, I believe, go wrong, because they just preach what's down here. Okay, cool. But also you do need the strategy, you do need the skills in place. And the more you practice this, the more it's going to reinforce that you're a success. So I'm learning Thai, and I can feel good and get excited and be in my place of beingness about learning Thai. But if I don't practice Thai, which is here at this end, then I'm just going to reinforce that I don't learn Thai. Does that make sense? All of this matters. Everything's connected. We can't put things in boxes and say, put that over there, put over there. No, it's all one. It's all one unified experience. So my question for you, and I want you to comment below and let me know, is that where you at with this deep inner state? Do you generally feel like the operating system that you're building your entire business upon, is it serving you? Is it empowering you? Are you waking up every day genuinely feeling successful? And please don't take my beliefs that I had here and my deep inner state. You've got to do the work to figure out what yours is, yeah? So for me, shifting from I'm a failure, and there's more to this, but shifting from I'm a failure to I'm already a success has just been life-changing, absolutely life-changing. Now every conversation that I have, I assume that the client's already a yes. I'm like, I know they're gonna buy. And if they're not gonna buy, it's fine, because I've got 10 other clients lined up. But the more work we do down here, the more it's gonna impact up here, vice versa. Anyways, comment below, let me know how this video has helped you, and I'll see you in the next one.